Well, here she is. There's our new ride for the year. I'm out for a walk with Lucky, and this is probably going to be one of the last walks I'm going to have with him for quite some time. I'm going to go out and I'm going to take a little trip on the motorbike. I got a call to ride to go to see if I can make it to the southern tip of Argentina now. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of thoughts and feelings in this, but you know, a ride that kind of interested me would be to ride from Canada down to the southern tip of Argentina, Ushuaia, which is the southernmost city in the world. I'm going to take an approach of getting a light motorbike, relatively speaking, but a light motorbike, not a lot of big CCs. I don't want to go down the highway super fast. And what I've enjoyed was when we were riding on trails in the back, in the mountains. Yeah, nice, easy trails, sometimes a little challenging, of course. That's always a great thing. Honda has this 300cc CRFL 300 Rally, I think 328 or 330 pound bike, which is light in the bike world. It took from December until this week, September 9th or so, 9th or 10th, a couple days ago, for my bike to arrive. Woohoo! I'm gonna go order my parts and any parts that I want, you know, like skid plates, you know, crash bars, panniers, saddlebags, anything that I need. Start getting that crap in line early so that you're ready to go. Of course, I didn't think it was going to take this long to get the bike, so you start getting a little nervous. So, you know, I bought all this equipment. It's filling up the closet space back home. Winston thinks I'm a spendaholic, and hey man, I gotta admit, it kind of looks like that. I mean, every other week there's a new piece coming, another product coming. So, you know, I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna be out by myself riding. I should make sure I'm equipped properly, but I also know don't go with too much shit, because too much shit is just too much shit, which makes more work. And so now I've got to, you know, the bike is in, they're working on it in the shop, and I'm pretty excited about that. What I want to do is, you know, ride the bike around locally a little bit, get used to it, maybe a lot locally, get used to it. Get the mileage under the bike, make sure if there's anything that needs getting done, I can get it done here at the service center before I head off into the back country of Washington or Idaho. And then, you know, just to make sure, of course, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've been looking forward to it for way too long. And that usually spells a disaster in the terms of how you feel about shit, because nothing lives up to what you're thinking, you know, and especially the longer you got to think about shit, less it's going to live up to it. So now I'm trying to not have such an expectation. Yeah, I barely have any route even planned. I'm just looking at, for the US, my general plan is to see if I can follow some of the BDRs, which are the backcountry discovery routes, which are mostly back roads and away from a lot of people and away from big traffic and highways. And I'm hesitant to really feel super excited. I'm feeling excited inside, but it's kind of like holding it back because of a couple things. One is that I don't want to, you know, I don't know if I'm hesitant or I'm scared. It's something I haven't done before, but I can get over that. I mean, I've done a lot of shit before that I've never done before, and you can learn to push through all of that. But I'm really going to miss Winsa, and that's a long time. You know, I don't know how long it's going to take. I think the full trip down and maybe back up or down in some other way. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it might take 6 months, might be longer. And that's a long time to be away from my gal now. I'm gonna go to Alaska. When are you gonna do it? In that 1 month where it's the warmest that you can possibly do it. That'd be the best time. Well, Ushuaia is the inverse of us. In the middle of winter, it's down the southern pole. Their summer, our absolute winter. So we have to figure that out. I'm looking forward to trying this Hennessy hammock that I bought, which is to try camping in and to sleep between the trees and anything else, or we'll see how that goes. I'll explain all that later when the time comes. But I think saying goodbye to Wunsa is the hardest thing. I love being with her, so yeah, that's gonna be the hardest thing. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be the hard part. Everything else I can get past. I think I can get past everything else. I'm sure there'll be times when I'm lonely, and make the best of that. My Spanish is not that good, and so I'm thinking communication might be a bit of a challenge for a number of months. Yeah, so I took up video blogging as a way to, one, keep in communication with the people that I love, and ease the burden on Wunsa a little bit, that she can see me, she can share the experience a bit. Not 100% obviously, because she's not going to be there, but maybe just share the experience a bit so that, hopefully that eases her mind about where I'm going and what I'm doing. I think it's going to really help mom and dad. They're of course fearful of things outside of their realm and their perspective. And so maybe if they get to see me once a week on their own TV, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, get those videos out to everybody, then it makes it a little easier that you don't feel so removed from my experience, and maybe we can stay connected over that time frame. To video or to not video, the question isn't about privacy or secrecy or anything like that. Actually, what it's about is me and the way I operate. And the way I operate is that I really fully embrace convenience-oriented functions. You'll just do more of them and you'll have a lot of good time. So the thing with videoing is that you need to bring a video camera, and you think, hey, that's it. But no, of course not. Then you have to bring the power supply, then you have to bring the cards to back it up. Maybe you need to bring a computer, although this week I think I may have a solution. I don't need to bring a computer. I might do that. But you have to bring all these peripheral things, and then it has to work with, like whatever system you're using. Whether you're using your iPhone, or whether you're using a computer, everything has to blend and work together. And I got an Apple, and I got to say certain things don't always go into it unless it's an Apple product. Man, an Apple to an Apple, freaking great. I also have an old GoPro before, which I used on that trip. And of course, now it has different software. It has different things that you have to do. It's not this straightforward. You can't do the same thing with each one of these. They all have their own thing. So now I have to change the way I download everything. I have to bring, of course, its batteries, its backup power, chargers and discs and everything else. So you think, oh, it's just a little camera. No, it's not just a little camera, man. It really adds up. And in fact, it weighs more. Bringing the GoPro and bringing this Insta360, which we're recording on right now, bringing that stuff and its plugins and the peripherals that go with it, they actually weigh more than my clothes that I'm bringing. I think it was Bob that made a comment about, hey, is that a drone? And it got me thinking about the beautiful coverage that I could get on a trip where I'm probably, I don't know how often I'm gonna be in the back area of the mountains in Argentina or Chile. And I thought, well, what a shame it would be if I didn't video it and take great shots or photos that a drone could get, that I, you know, and things to see that I wouldn't be able to see even from the highway. And then that changes the whole thing, because now you got to bring a drone and all its peripherals, and it's a little brick of shit things too, you know. So now you got all these things, and you got all these peripherals, and it starts to really add up. And I got to tell you, that convenience-oriented guy in me is saying, you know, if you don't bring a camera, just bring your iPhone, you know, that's a camera. Just keep it super basic, but the coverage is going to be really minimal. I'd be ashamed to not do it, but you know, you wonder if history's repeating itself, because I went and did Europe years ago, but I did it just before digital, and holy shit, you know, I had 14 kilos of camera equipment lugging that around. And the day I stopped using it and I only used my iPhone, my life became super easy, super convenient. Now I took less photos, but it did make my life easier. I did enjoy doing this on my California trip. And the thing is though, is that it also changes the way you ride during the day. So you're stopping to take pictures, you're stopping to take videos, you're gonna go back over a route, set up a camera, video you, or pull out a drone, video you, video the environment, and you know, it's all fun and it's entertainment and it's something to do for sure. But it changes your ride, because otherwise your ride would be the experience of the day, going, coming, going, and savoring that moment and letting it be. You let the time pass, and then you can have a spiritual outlook on that, about being in the present. And then there's also all the extra time afterwards, which I thought was actually a bonus. You have to edit this stuff, you have to watch it, put it together, arrange it, orchestrate it, put music to it, do everything you're going to do to it, and then release the videos. This is a lot of extra legwork, a lot of effort. And but I was thinking, well, you know, after you're done riding, then what are you going to do? You know, in these small towns, in the back country somewhere, you know, well, it gives you something to do. You don't exactly speak the language with everybody, so maybe it just gives you something to do. If I didn't bring all this stuff, wow, all I'd bring is an iPhone with a charger, with a cable and a wall out back. Maybe a battery pack, one battery pack to keep it fully charged. In the event that I'm 2 or 3 days away from anybody, I could recharge the phone, and I've got a couple of those from previous trips, plus new acquisitions. And then I thought, yeah, that's lighter. And I also bought a hammock with a tent, a Hennessy hammock. So this is a hammock with a built-in mosquito net, a rain fly. I don't know what the terminology is, and I don't really care, but anyways, so I bought that, and of course then there's an insulated pad that goes underneath it so you don't freeze at night. And one also starts to think, well, I mean, if you just went to a hotel, okay, you know, you wouldn't have to bring this, and again, your bike would be lighter, you wouldn't have a hammock, you wouldn't have a rain fly under pad, you wouldn't have to bring a sleeping bag, don't forget a sleeping bag, even though it compresses down really well. You wouldn't bring all that stuff, and my, wouldn't you be lighter, and less things to pack and unpack every time you go somewhere. Now, if you're camping the whole time, hey, you don't give a shit, man. You pull out the tent, you do it. In fact, I got the hammock, so it wouldn't matter whether the ground was clear or not, or whether I'm, you know, in an environment where I can camp or can't camp. I just got to get it up between 2 trees. And of course, you know, you get poles so that if should you want to go down on a beach, or you go somewhere where there aren't trees, like say Nevada, maybe southern part of Utah, you know, I don't know how they, maybe parts of Mexico, I'm guessing, you know, places that are more desert-like, less tree-like, that you do have the ability to pitch something and get some sleep. But again, it's more things that you're packing. You think ultralight, man, I would have one complete pannier empty without a hammock, sleeping pads, sleeping bag. That takes up 23 liters. 23 or 27 liters, either way, it doesn't matter. It takes up a full bag, and that would be empty. That's really appealing, to be quite honest with you. You know what? If I find it's too much bullshit for my liking, maybe I'll just pack that all up. Pack all that shit up and just send it back home, and I can use it at another date. Although I got a feeling I'm probably going to record this and punch out the videos and have some fun with it. But the good thing is, with the video editing, is I have learned a shitload about editing and splicing, and I use Keynote and iMovies. And the great thing that I just discovered this week is that about 90% of what I was doing on a computer, I can do on my phone, just on my iPhone. And I'm thinking, hey, great, I keep the iPhone in my pocket. You know, it won't get ruined because it's, you know, it's on you personally, it's softer. Where a computer is in the bag, on the bike, and you know, if it breaks, or you dip the bike in the water, never done that before, but should that happen, bullshit, I did that. Should that happen, then I'm not worried about this computer because it's not with me. Pretty sure at this time that I'm going to live without my computer. Well, there she is. There's our new ride for the year. Beautiful. This is probably the last time this thing's ever going to be this clean. So, nice picture. Well, I just finished Pacific Riding School's adventure riding course, enduro adventure riding course. And man, it was awesome. I learned a shitload. These guys treat you great.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe. And the next episode, we'll get this call to ride on the road.